Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the weekly WLE Facebook Live.
Hi, we are Carrie and Adam Anderson of Whole Life Entrepreneurship.
Yay!
Yes. Hope you guys had a most fabulous Christmas.
Yes, and with the New Year's coming in, we've been inspired, nay called. We have been called
Some
to
strong
help.
statements.
You know, because a lot of people do the whole, I'm going to do New Year's resolution thing.
New Year's resolutions are so daunting.
Yep. Well, it's even more daunting to go through the whole process of I'm going to systematically approach vision, values, and goals. And I mean, look, there's so many great things, so many great ways of going about picking what you think next year should look like. We really wanted to talk about some important mindset things to consider before you dive into New Year's resolutions, vision, value, goals, vision casting, you know, that kind of stuff.
So I worked at a gym for the last couple of years, and instructors always get a little like about January, because we will go from it being like a desert and nobody there to all of a sudden, you know, people are fighting over their spot in the room and like throwing elbows and
This year's gonna be different.
stuff. Yeah. So, and I mean, it all wears off by like Valentine's Day.
That's right.
But, I mean, how do you get to a point where the promises you make yourself, you can actually follow through with?
Well, I think the first thing to do is get in the right mindset, to get in the right belief of where you are and
we
what
talk
you're doing.
a lot about mindset, and it's like,
Duh. So if we keep saying it, maybe, you know, it's important.
And it's really because it's that important.
So
it really is.
I'm looking at we have a Venn diagram over there that you can't see. It's fantastic.
You can't see, but trust me,
It's got
it's
business,
awesome.
self, relationships, and they all cross over and da-da-da. And there's 9 to 12 things written on that board that I want to work on. And it's absolutely impossible for me to do all of them at once. And so, first thing, before I get into that, I was going to mention priorities. But you have to be okay starting from not being okay. Meaning that we're all human, and therefore we're all flawed, and therefore there's something wrong with us in general, because that's the way life is supposed to be, because it's fun to grow and improve. And so if you go to a thing with the expectations are, I must be amazing at this immediately, and you set goals that are not realistic, like I'm going to lift 700 pounds or blah, blah, I'm going to weigh nothing, you know.
I'm never going to eat again.
I'm never
Which is
gonna-
how I'm feeling right now after all the Christmas treats I had.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
So I love the idea of a big vision of 3 years from now, I shall be in the pinnacle of physical condition.
Yeah.
And on the way there, January 2020, I'm just going to eat a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm going to make small changes that are going to add up to big changes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the idea of doing a SMART goal.
Yes.
So SMART stands for what exactly?
That's a great question. I had it in my head until you
Until I
asked.
ask you.
Yeah, it's supposed to be measurable, specific, measurable, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, time sensitive.
Yeah, attainable.
Yeah, it's not just, hey, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. It's, I am going to lose 10 pounds by February 29th. That's a leap year. You know, blah, blah, blah. So the idea though is, how do you pick it though? Because there's a million things you probably want to work on.
There's a million things you could work on. Can I add a little perspective to what we're talking about?
I wish you would. I love your perspectives.
My grandmother, Grandnell, lived to be 100. And, you know, she was still learning and teaching, actually, well into her 90s. So here's the thing about goals and the continuum of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to get there. I mean, the journey is
The destination.
the destination. And I know it sounds super lame, but we're going to continue to grow and improve until well into our old age. Otherwise, really, what's the point? So when we look at it like that, I feel like that leaves a little bit of room for grace. I'm not perfect now. I'm probably not going to be perfect next year. Probably not going to be perfect 10 years from now. That's okay. But that's no reason for me not to do anything. You know, you can still start from wherever you are. And that's something that I learned in this past year of like jumping.
Yep.
I have jumped with blind faith. I have jumped. I have no idea where I'm landing. I literally have my eyes glued shut. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just taking risks and taking chances, and I'm jumping and I'm doing wild things, and I just take off from wherever I land. Goals have to be that way sometimes too.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that you closed your eyes and jumped, but you knew you were jumping in a particular direction. And so when we're talking about goals and we're talking about vision, the purpose of this is to say, where do I want to be 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line? And then what do I need to do today that moves me a little bit closer to that? So if you use Carrie's analogy here of jumping, I need to jump that way.
Yeah, so now I would
Let's
like
not
to jump with a little
way.
more accuracy.
Yes.
A little bit more clarity of what the goals are. And that's a good reason to go and do all of the work of figuring out at least a whole 5 to 10 years of vision, value, and goal setting.
I find it a lot more exciting to go 20 years down the road, because then you have permission
And
to...
you can like reverse engineer the
you
steps for how to get where you want to go.
Well, you can do that at 5 years. What I'm saying is 20 years, you can be stupid optimistic.
Yeah.
20 years is enough time for literally there to be new technologies that will enable you, like, I want to live on the moon.
Big, hairy, audacious goals.
Big, right?
Yeah, a big hug. And I'm not good at those. I'm a very practical, realistic person.
I'm really
but
bad at
Adam
that part.
will live on the moon if it's the last thing he does.
2035, come drink bourbon on the moon with me. It'll be great.
So that begs the question. How do you build vision and values and goals for yourself within a couple?
So, yes, no.
What if I don't want to go to the moon?
Well, then you don't have to, girl. I'll FaceTime you from the moon. No. Okay, so this is the thing. It is completely okay to have your own personal missions and visions and values and all that stuff. But if you don't, merge them. And we say there's a 20% match. You need to have a 20% match. There's the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the value comes from 20% of the effort. And if you guys are aligned on 20% of your vision, values, and goals, then you have an amazing life. Unless there's another 20% that are just completely opposite.
Do you remember a time in our relationship where we both sat on either side, just like staring each other down for like, I feel like it was years of us just staring at each other, like not wanting to budge off of what we felt our own values and visions and where we wanted to go with life were so polar opposite. We were just like staring each other down like,
you blink.
Exactly.
You blink. I want to win.
It was exhausting. It was so polarizing, and I mean, so much hard-headed.
I remember we would often throw our defenses up and not move. Not so much in retrospect because we were so against what the other person was saying, is because we didn't have clarity of who we were.
Exactly.
And so that first step is clarity of who you are. Take care of yourself, self-care, self-awareness, all of the yummy emotional intelligence stuff that we talk about. You got to do that first, because if you guys come together and with garbage in my heart and garbage in your heart, guess what we're going to make? Dumpster fire.
A dumpster fire.
Filled with
What
garbage.
What about the little thing, that little word that I hate so much that comes up?
Recidivism.
It isn't our word.
What is it? Respect?
No.
Reliability.
Resignation.
Oh.
What if somebody in a partnership is this, looks at the other person and is just like, fine, whatever, he's just gonna do what he wants to do anyway.
Ooh, I can't control her.
How are you supposed to blend vision, values, and goals around that kind of thing?
You can't. If you're in that point when you are apathetic and you've given up and you're resigned, it could come across as trust. It can hide as, I trust you, you know what you're doing, go ahead. But really what it is, you've resigned and you're just like, my voice doesn't matter anymore. it's near impossible to set shared vision, values, and goals if you don't feel like your voice is being heard. That's when you go to counseling.
Yes, that means that there is a fundamental communication issue. And honest to goodness, that has to be straightened out before you can start blending these life goals together. It really, really, you can't make progress without the communication part.
Absolutely. The communication is the hardest part. I used to think it was being self-aware because I'm like, well, if I don't know me, dude, like, how can I totally show up in the world the best version of Adam? But the really problem is that you can work on yourself whenever, because it's just you. Learning how to be a good communicator requires another person. Learning to do this communication side of the house requires live fire exercises, and I am absolutely adverse to conflict. And so for me to get better at communication means setting myself up to be the most uncomfortable I could possibly be, and then to sit in that uncomfortableness, working on communication skills. You know, what's really helped me is the fact that we've been following frameworks of best practices on how to do communication. And folks, when you guys are on the same page, you and your partner are on the same page about how you're gonna go about handling hard things, it's night and day. It's night and day. Yeah, you still feel bad. Yeah, there's still the conflict, but you're gonna have some ground rules that you can share and be like, well, I'm not gonna be that guy who just walks away.
And at least you're not two independent agents putting out fires as they come up, and then building resentment as one just does what they want and you have to follow behind and clean up the mess. Can you guess which was which in our... Yeah. Anyway, we are going to start wrapping this up for the week.
Yeah. New Year's.
New Year's is this week, 2020, y'all. 2020.
Yep, and just a reminder to those of you who are in our group coaching beta that we are getting finished. We only got a couple more sessions to go. That's happening tomorrow Eastern time at noon.
It's supposed to be Tuesday. We have switched it. You do have homework. You still have time to catch up.
Yep.
You want to have that done before you move on to this next piece where we start talking more about building a shared vision, values, and goals for your business and your family, so that you're ready to hit 2020 running.
Yep. If you want to sign up for the beta stuff,
you can still do that.
We're recording everything. We'll funnel it your way. It's wlemission.com/beta-program. For some reason you can't find it, message us. We're really nice people. We would totally help you. We're like, oh, no, man, I got you. It's fine. Absolutely. Come and play with us. So,
if you have any other questions, you can always go to wlemission.com. Happy New Year, guys. Bye.